Well, guys, we got a classic out here. A true hypocrisy and brain dead classic, in fact. ProZD quits after backlash from voicing white characters due to his support of authentic casting by Refsys Desu. Apparently, also we have a modelless video for him. Backstory, for those of you who do not know who this dude is, all you need to know is that he complained that people should voice actors should voice characters with their ethnicity in mind. That means that Asian characters should only be voiced by Asian characters, black characters by black characters, and so far, and like, yeah, you get the idea. The problem is that that also included, I think, one exception, which is white characters. Yes, white characters should be played by everyone. That's one of the hypocrisy. Also, if I remember correctly, he did complain that, what was the word? He did complain that he was only getting Asian roles now, roles for Asian characters, and nothing else anymore. So that's actually a more funny part. That's actually the true backlash, right? The moment it actually backfired. We'll see how this went down. We'll just jump in and see, right? Let's go. Can't be this bad.
Hey, what's up, guys? Irv here. So once again, no VTuber model for today. I am traveling around for the Labor Day holiday, so I hope you guys are enjoying that if you are celebrating it. But anyways, we're going to be looking at another Reap What You Sow moment featuring ProZD.
Frog wasn't particularly, couldn't particularly celebrate it, which is interesting because, you know, she's here with me, so that's a problem. She tried to do a little bit, though.
Now, this is someone who has made comments about anime and the dubbing
Frog is my woman, for context.
Scene and voice actors generally, and those comments have continued to haunt him for a very long time. Now, in case you're not familiar with who this guy is, he is someone who blew up on YouTube, where for years he made very successful sketches that are anime themed, and eventually
should have stayed with that, I'll be honest. I liked him more when he did that instead of this weird bullshit. It's somehow odd. Everyone that I know, that I've seen, who starts promoting this kind of weird shit, right? When it comes to voice actors, all did so after it became a voice actor. Huh. That's like, this is a mob mentality, or what do we say? Peer pressure. Not really. I don't know. I guess your mind just gets corrupted.
He got some opportunities in the anime voice acting dub scene. Now, he's become a bit of a meme, especially among anime fans, because of his comments about the medium. While his virtue signaling on places like Twitter has gotten seal claps from members of his industry and some of the most annoying users on social media, a lot of other anime fans, specifically dub fans, are pretty annoyed with some of his comments, especially the ones where he is very hypocritical. He is someone who has advocated for censorship of anime that he considers yucky or gross.
Oh, I didn't even know that. By the way, it should never be said. I'm gonna say this: censorship is straight up bad, evil. We don't need that. If you, as an anime fan, advocate for censorship, you are not one. Sorry to tell you that. You're a tourist. Man, isn't it awful that since the pandemic, there's so many normies that have entered the space, the community, whatever you want to call it, right? It's really weird. We should have gatekept harder. We should have gatekept harder. I'm just gonna say it. We should have gatekept more. So these people, right? I'm gonna straight up say it. I'm a big shonen fan, right? But I don't act like shonentards. I watch other stuff as well, especially right now. I watch a lot of different things. It's just horrible. And then I've seen another one. I don't remember. I've seen another tweet today that was kind of also like one of those is really stupid. I think it was a you retard one. That one. I don't remember what it exactly was though.
And he's also made a lot of comments about authentic casting, which is a very, very hot button issue. Seems very basic in terms of how normal people react to it, but a lot of people are trying to virtue signal. They've been pushing this authentic casting thing for a long time, and ProZD is one of the people at the helm of that movement. Now, when there was a recent project announced,
I think it was about a new anime, and basically, once again, Yuri Tart's claiming that the character is for the girls, yet the context had nothing to do with Yuri.
Knights of Guinevere, people were looking at this and then seeing the voice.
This gave me flashbacks of that other show that Crunchyroll created, right? That weird with like the different girls, like super colorful, and like that one, right? I forgot what it was called, but I think you know what I mean. Also, what the fuck is that? What is that?
Voice acting cast for the characters, they noticed one thing: ProZD playing this specific character. Now, you look at the two right there side by side. Uh-oh. Looks like their ethnicity doesn't really match up. Now, if you're not someone who advocates...
Bro started blocking plenty of people before leaving, including me.
...for authentic casting and, you know, you're a normal person, you don't care about this. But the reason people are in the comments section like this pointing out hypocrisy, it's because he has pushed for authentic casting time and time again, where he wants the ethnicity of the character to match the ethnicity of the voice actor playing them. And this is something he was called out for about 2 years ago. He kind of fell on his own sword with this concept.
Yeah, who would have guessed? Who would have guessed that came... I can't voice white characters anymore, bro. What? Bro, you're just a... Nobody cares about your political opinion or woke opinion. Nobody gives a rat's ass. You're supposed to be a voice actor. You know what, actually... You know what the truly bad thing is that comes with that? For voice actors that are not like this, right? You're gonna be lumped in with the same people. And also... You're also gonna be a victim if those people get replaced by AI. Remember that.
This is why people are so fired up to see him taking this role. It all began with this situation involving a Bleach dub for the character Yoruichi, and originally this character was played by the voice actress Wendy Lee, who, as you can see, is a white woman, and she's playing a darker skinned character. Nobody cared, right? She did the role for years. Everything was great. But then there was a recast where a different voice actress, Anaris Quinones, who has darker skin, then took over this role, at least very briefly. And people were making tweets like this, seeing one and one together and thinking...
They think matching skin color to VA is that what fans want or even care about. Truly a sad day in dub. It's quite sad that Wendy Lee wasn't given the opportunity to return as Yoruichi for the watch Bleach. I don't know what this shortened version means. It's Bleach, that's for sure. But yeah, I've watched Bleach. I probably need to do that still. I'm sorry.
Why would you needlessly recast the voice actress for this character when clearly Wendy Lee also wanted to reprise the role? What is going on here? Is this an attempt to virtue signal and promote authentic casting? And eventually, citing complications with scheduling and some confusion, they would give back Wendy Lee the role. So she would end up reprising the role, but people in the voice acting scene and their supporters were very upset about this, where people were crying foul, that there was something not right about this. And they were even pointing out Wendy Lee's reaction on social media once she did get her role back, saying she was being insensitive to those comforting Quinones after the recast.
The recast was already unacceptable, but this is just fucking yikes on top. Lee finally responded to Anaris Yoruichi situation, and all she's doing is attacking industry people who are comforting at Anaris after the recast. Still amazed how transparently awful so many voice actors have been this month. Especially this man.
Cast, and quoting a related post, ProZD would say the recast was already unacceptable, but this is just the effing yikes on top. Now, the last part is referring to what they believe are insensitive comments she was making about the situation, referring to Wendy Lee. But as you can see, the first part is making it very clear. He's implying that the recast, that Wendy Lee getting her role back, was already unacceptable. And reading between the lines in his support of authentic casting, the only explanation is that he thought she shouldn't play that role because her skin color didn't match up with the character. And this is something he made very clear in an interview around that time.
Do you feel like your opportunities are limited? Do you feel like more opportunities would be open to you if you were, a white male, being by what you've seen so far?
I definitely would have more opportunities if I were white, for sure. There's no doubt about that. I mean, even comparing now to
I'm not gonna say it.
Let's say 5-10 years ago, it's definitely changed. I think studios are much more aware of.
Cast authentically means to hire actors who resemble or relate to the characters they are playing. Interesting. So, technically, if we spin this very, very, very far, right? Very far. Very, very far. For example, characters that are confirmed female, right? Biologically female, could not be voiced by trans women, technically, right? If we're going actually, authentically, because they cannot relate to women's struggles, right? They didn't grow up as a woman, they don't have the woman body, which means they don't have the same bodily issues. Huh. Oh wait, he wouldn't like that now, would he? He wouldn't like that now, would he? It's just an idea, right? It's just an idea. Again, and this guy does not care. Like, he thinks everyone else can act for white characters, but white people cannot do that for everything else. By the way.
Hey, we should cast authentically. So there have been some good steps. We still have a long way to go.
So to make this very clear, authentic casting is something that's trying to force voice actors to only play roles where the ethnicity of the character matches their own. This is something that is so progressive, it is regressive. A lot of these people cite an attempt to even the playing field, where minority voice actors will have more opportunities, but that is just not how it plays out.
Yeah, that's also not how it plays out, right? Consider this. Under authentic casting, right? That would mean, right, technically, that nobody can play another ethnicity. Since most characters, for example, in anime, most, just throughout, I probably like 95% are Japanese. That means, first of all, only Japanese people, because truly authentic means, not just like Asian looking, it means Japanese people would need to voice those characters only. First of all, you wouldn't find that many Japanese people that are from Japan or Japanese immigrants who live in the US. You wouldn't even find that many. First of all, that'd be the first issue. That'd be the first problem. You wouldn't find that many. Second of all, that means black people essentially get no roles whatsoever. None. Realistically, even if they had the talent, if they were peak voice actors, they could rarely have the chance to voice act for anime. Because if I think about like black characters for anime, is Yoriichi even black? Probably not, right? Pan-Japanese, probably. Aegil from Sword Art Online comes to mind. I think that was a guy from Black Lagoon that's also... if we would also do that for video games, Barrett from Final Fantasy VII. Oh, I'm already struggling. I'm already struggling. Yeah, this would just not work. This would just not work. This makes things worse. I am firmly of the belief that it should be based on merit, it should be based on talent, it should be based on fitting the role. Get the person that's best. Doesn't matter if they're black, white, Asian, Namekian. I do not care. Get the best person for this. Get the person that can embody the character the best. I do not care about anything else. The only thing anime fans that do watch the dub care about is good voice acting. That's it. Simple, that's it.
But in practice, especially in the anime industry.
Because at the end of the day, you will not be remembered by the race behind the voice, but by the voice itself. Nobody talks about voice actors like, oh, but he's Asian, that's so cool. Like, people talk about their voice.
If you have, for example, a black voice actor, they are going to lose roles because of this. Yes, they will get priority on darker skinned characters, but that's only a very small fraction of anime characters. So in the dubbing industry...
Very, very small. Very small. I can barely think of any. It's very small.
They're going to lose almost all of their opportunities. And that's something people are pointing out. I know, radical...
And right, there's not just white, Asian, black, right? That's the problem. Arabic people, for example. You're not voicing any characters at all at this point. Like, not a single one. You are not voicing a single person. Not a single one. Because there aren't any, realistically.
Theory for people like this, but discrimination based on the color of your skin, especially with employment opportunities, is not good. But people like ProZeta have been pushing this very hard, and lo and behold, he'd fall on his own sword. Where back in, I believe, late 2023, he lost a role because of authentic casting. This was applied against himself in this now deleted Twitter thread where he was told he cannot take an opportunity to voice a white character because he's, of course, Asian. And he would be very upset about this, even trying to deflect and say the naysayers will go, oh, don't you want authentic casting? And he continues on basically saying this is not an example of that and that the playing field hasn't been leveled, and just really playing the victim in the situation once again. So looking at the entire scope, his continued support for authentic...
That's the worst part, right? Technically, under his own rules, he could only voice Korean characters. You're not voicing shit at that point. You are not even voicing much anime at that point. Because again, most anime take place in Japan. In fact, there will probably be more white characters, considered white characters, be voiced by white people than there is Korean characters. Because, right, Japan does take a lot from Europe, like a lot, right? I mean, Attack on Titan is essentially quite a lot based on Europe. Medieval Europe is a big portion of anime, quite a big amount. Not huge, but significantly bigger than Korean settings. You're cooked. You're cooked. Congratulations, you're allowed to voice in solo leveling. Everything else, you're essentially useless for.
Casting and weaponizing it against people he doesn't like. This happening to him back in 2023 was very ironic. People have not forgotten about this. So when he did go to Twitter and announce his role in this Knights of Guinevere series, people are now mocking him. And here's a great example of how these interactions...
Oh, Madame Savvy again. You're cooked.
...typically go. Here's Madame Savvy saying, aren't you the blow-up poopball who said you have to look like the character you voice? And of course, blocked. And this is something he's been doing forever. This has been the play, so to speak. I got blocked as well for a different tweet that I briefly referred to at the beginning of the video, where he was talking about the anime series Made in Abyss. And he was making a claim about that, saying he wishes that parts of the show would be removed referring to what he considers the creepy stuff. And then when he got major backlash for criticizing his own industry's tropes, he would try to say, oh,
Made in Abyss creepy stuff. You know what? Let's look at what Made in Abyss. I have not watched Made in Abyss. Let me look what that looks up. What that looks like. That looks fairly innocent. That looks fairly innocent. Okay, I googled. Is it essentially just violent? Yeah, it's essentially just violent. That's it. It's not even like gross stuff. It's just violence. Oh no, there's violence in an adult media. Oh no, who would have guessed? Bro, this dude is I'm gonna say this dude is retarded. This dude is retarded. If he uses retardation if he uses the energy he puts into this to actually voice acting, you know, maybe even, I don't want to make comments on his body, but you have other problems, let's just say that, you'd do better. You'd be much more well off. Like, dude, this is the same energy. He gives me the same energy of complaining about Griffith and the Casca stuff. And like all the other stuff that happens in Berserk. Yes, that's in fact the point. That's there. It's there for a reason. This isn't just mindless thrown in there. I highly doubt that it is put in Made in Abyss for no reason. Bro, what the fuck are we doing?
Just a joke, and that anyone who has an issue with this is not normal and basically stupid. And I made a very bland post, not even directly interacting with his post, rather a screenshot, and I would get blocked. And I thought it was a very mundane thing, but it was too much. That's been the play for him, is to block anyone who criticizes him one way or another, and that has been confirmed again. Just before recording this, he did make a response to everything going on with the current series he's voicing in, and he says, "Hey all, this will be my last tweet on this platform. I will no longer be using Twitter after this. If you look at the replies on my latest announcement tweet, you'll see a lot of comments like this. This has been going on for years now, and while the normal procedure has been to block and move on, I truly don't think Twitter is worth it anymore. In the past, I have..."
Oh no! The consequences of my own actions! I made things awkward! Time to disappear! Well, if you're stupid, play stupid games, win stupid prizes. Your idea, in its core, is discriminatory against everyone. At least, I guess that's equality, right? Everyone gets fucked. Technically, okay? So at least he's got that right. Your idea is stupid. Because you're dealing with a media, anime fans need to realize something that's really important, like really important. It's that this media isn't okay, normal anime fans understand this. Normies don't. Normies. This media isn't produced for you. This media is produced for the Japanese people. Which means you will see themes that Japanese people like. That also means that a lot of the stories will take place in Japan and are inspired by Japan. Which means that you're gonna get to see a lot of Japanese people. To consume this is, so to speak, a privilege. Because they could literally just say, you know what? Fuck dubs. We're now only gonna produce for the Japanese. No more dubs, just subs. And then what you're gonna do? Realistically, financially, that is a stupid decision, but you get the idea. This is made for us. This is made for the Japanese. But we also get to consume it. So we should be a bit more respectful to the medium.
express that I think diversity in casting is important. It's a complicated topic, but at the end of the day, I will stand by this. I think it's important for voice actors to be given equal opportunity. And I think there have been positive changes on that front. A lot of bad faith arguers have tried to paint this as me saying things I never said. And of course, we're going to read the part 2 of this, but we know he's not just promoting diversity. In fact, authentic casting that he has made very clear is something he supports does the exact opposite in practice. We all know this.
This is like, it does the exact opposite. He became a victim of that himself. Yet he stands by it. Well, this is the classic. I'd rather go down with the sinking ship than admit that I'm wrong. And you wonder why the voice actors and artists are so scared about being replaced with AI, because that's also the exact same behavior that artists are showing.
It's ruining a naturally, very organically diverse industry where your looks shouldn't matter whatsoever. It's just the quality of your voice acting skill.
Right, your looks don't matter at all. Your looks don't matter at all. Nobody gives a fuck what you look like. Nobody cares. That's not what we care about. We only care about the voice. If it's good, if it fits the character, can you impersonate the character well? That's what people care about. On that note, I'm sorry you ever voices of Augury for the fragrant flower blooms with dignity. Girl, your voice doesn't fit. I'm sorry. I listened to the dub voice. It just doesn't fit. It's horrible. I'm sorry. I hope they don't mess too much with the German one. We'll see.
Anyways, he continues on saying, I've been reluctant to address this for years because I know a lot of these people will not listen to reason no matter what I say, and I have not wanted to add to this ongoing drama. Twitter especially is a cesspool for hatred, and it's been awful these past few years, but I think it's important for people to know that this has been happening. This is the last time I'll comment on any of this. Goodbye, Twitter. You truly suck. And he gives 3 examples of cherry-picked comments, most of them with only a few likes, where they're saying things about his race. Obviously, very aggressive comments, but he's cherry-picking these responses to make it sound like he is the subject of racism. Like, that's the only thing going on here.
Bro, I mean, yeah, you shouldn't. That's a bit far, right? That's a bit far. That's a bit far. I mean, this is very aggressive. I don't know what that word means. But that one, technically, kinda hits home. Kinda.
Now, this is part of the reason why I always say...
Because he is definitely he is bad. Let's not deny that. And he is disgusting because he's racist.
This type of stuff detracts from the real criticism. This stuff serves as an opportunity for someone like ProZD to show these comments and say, oh, it's because these people are racist. They're just, you know, acting outrageous. They're doing these things while deflecting all the valid criticism people are actually giving. That's why you don't give people like ProZD a chance to play the victim. And that's what he did immediately. He doesn't address any of the criticism about his support of authentic casting and how he is quite literally violating his own principles by taking this...
Yeah, to be fair, that's most humans, though. Most humans are, when they are wrong, they'd rather double down than admit that they're wrong, and that's what he's doing here. Well, he has doubled down multiple times at this point. He has, like, quadrupled, down four times to the power of 4. I don't know.
Rules for thee, but not for me, is really the way to sum this up. And also, people were also pointing out that authentic casting wouldn't even support other people playing in this show. But anyways, I think you really get the point. That's going to do it for this video. As always, feel free to share your thoughts about today's topics in the comment section down below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video.
Here's my take. Just like quotas for specific races, genders, whatever, are discriminatory, what he advocates for is also discriminatory. And we should not tolerate that because it ruins an industry that was otherwise diverse because looks did not matter. 10 years ago, nobody, not a single fuck was talking about the looks of a voice actor voicing a character. The only criticism that was given was, you don't fit the character. Your voice does not fit the character, more so. And now it's like, your ethnicity doesn't fit. While nobody is seeing that, by the way. Most voice actors, I have not looked up how they look like. And I think most people have, in fact, not looked up what their favorite voice actors look like. I don't think so. Most people have not looked that up. And if you have seen what they look like, it was an accident from a clip on TikTok, YouTube Shorts, YouTube, whatever, right? It does not matter. It should not matter. But they made it so that it now matters. You made it literally worse for everyone. And now you're paying the price. That's what it is. That is fully what it is. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed the video. Please consider liking and subscribing, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.